Mjolo Will Humble You by Ntendeni Luvhengo. Episode 1B. Mjolo has entered the chat. Shame. My family came to give me a huge welcome back home reception at OR Tambo International. I'm talking mom, brother, aunt, another aunt, vomakadzi, vomalume, vazwala. You know them cousins. You know those funny cousins that come with the package of being an African child, Mus. I booked us into hotels for the first 2 nights, first in Kempton Park and then Senton. I told you, Ndiri, levels. Yo, I made sure we had a ball, munati, party. I can still hear the laughter and joy in my head as I spent time with my family for the first time in 6 years. I wanted them to know how much I appreciated them for coming all the way from Limpopo. Cho, I'm an African child. Ngoho. It took a village, guys. Big family. I'm home. Ndiyalibuwa. Thank you, family. These are the kinds of things I missed when I was living in Japan. This is the African warmth, the ubuntu, the love, the belonging that I missed for the 6 years I was in Japan. I left at 25, just as my brain had fully developed, and came back at 31. The hotels came as a result of avoiding the long 7-hour drive to Limpopo. Right after my 10-hour flight from Singapore, which followed a full day layover in Singapore, which was a layover from a 10-hour flight from Japan, which was a long anticipated final one-way out of Japan ticket booked months before. Cho, moving out of Japan was a full-time job, bazalwane. I was tired, finished. Ndiri, we ate, laughed, ate, laughed, ate again, laughed again. You know when big African families gather, Mus? Yeah, ndizwabudi. Munati, you know how we do it as African families. It goes down. We tried to catch up, took thousands of photos with my cell phone, and hugged again, and again. Yes, a whole African village. Those 2 nights in Jozi hit the severity of the situation in this country. The hotel's backup saved us from load shedding. We were basically tourists, shielded from the daily realities of the locals. The soft life was short-lived though. Soon, the day of reckoning arrived. We drove back to Venda. By the time we arrived at Hachifura village, it was around 7 p.m. Where is Hachifura village, you ask? It's a gorgeous, middle of nowhere, somewhere in Limpopo, with streams, green hills, and beautiful fields where the chief's cattle go to graze. Beautiful, gorgeous. Yes, I told you, I'm a whole African village girl with a whole traditional chief. Imagine, a chief with a kraal full of cows. I'm an African bazolani. The village was a darkness that scared me though. It was load shedding all the way from our local town of Thohoyandou to our village. I felt a chill as the car approached the village. There hadn't been water in our village for a couple of months. The taps were a desert. We arrived. Welcome to Hachifura village. The ideal situation would have been to take a long shower. A grand welcome back home to Venda shower. The kinds of long showers I used to take in Japan after long trips away, with above average hot water that penetrated deep into the skin. Load shedding was another thing I could tolerate for a few hours a day, ne? Fine. Mara having no water, dry taps, for months. Jesus, that was an offense to my existence. I put a round plastic basin outside, a little far away from the house near our garage, and filled it with cold water. My family fetched water in buckets every week from family and friends. That's how we got water. Imagine ancient water fetching strategies in 2022, bazalwane. I washed my body repeatedly with a soapy Vaslap and followed by splashing water over and over. I made sure to savor every last drop. I had already used half a bucket of water, about 10 liters. But I wanted more. I wanted a grand shower. I wanted an entire Jojo tank. And just as I was finishing, the lights came back on and the village lit up just a little bit. Eskom as games, ne? Yo. Still in my towel, I sat on my bed by my summer pajamas from Uniqlo as I gave my body time to recover from this ancient life I'd been thrown into. Then, the LED light on my phone turned green. I have a new message on WhatsApp. Mjolo has entered the chat. The message reads, "Hello, I heard you were back in South Africa. How was Japan? Let's meet. See you soon." The nerve. Bazalwane, the nerve.